Before we go any further, if you care about serious military history, real survival knowledge, and the kind of lessons that don't expire with trends, subscribe to this channel and share it with someone who still believes history has something new to teach us. What I'm about to walk you through isn't nostalgia, and it isn't romanticized warfare. It's a hard look at why World War II survival kits, built under pressure by people who had no room for failure, still outperform much of what we carry today. If you're a historian, a documentarian, or a survivalist who values proven systems over marketing hype, stay with me for the next minute, because this foundation matters. Now, let's be honest. When it comes to surviving the harshest environments, theory alone doesn't cut it. The kits designed during World War II weren't just clever ideas. They were engineered for reality, tested by necessity, and refined by the experience of men and women whose lives depended on them. That's the kind of practical wisdom we can still learn from today. During the Second World War, survival gear wasn't designed for comfort, aesthetics, or consumer choice. It was designed because young men were being dropped into oceans, deserts, jungles, and frozen forests, with the understanding that rescue might take days or might never come. Militaries like the United States Army, the Royal Air Force, and the German Wehrmacht had to solve survival as an engineering problem, not a lifestyle brand. That mindset is why their solutions still demand respect. Why World War II survival kits were engineered for reality rather than convenience. When you look at the survival kits of the Second World War, you see a fascinating principle at play. Each item had a very specific purpose, but its usefulness often extended far beyond what you might expect. The designers, they weren't just thinking about convenience. They were thinking about survival, pure and simple. The result was a collection of tools that could serve multiple roles in the harshest of circumstances. Every item included in a Second World War survival kit had a narrowly defined purpose and was chosen after, brutal trial and error. Aircrew kits, naval lifeboat kits, and infantry escape kits all followed the same philosophy: fewer items, broader usefulness, and absolute reliability. A pilot's kit might include a silk map that wouldn't rot when soaked, a compass without luminous paint that could give away one's position at night, and food that could survive extreme temperature swings. These weren't accessories. They were, quite frankly, life support systems. When you compare that to, many modern kits, they're just packed with single-purpose gadgets that honestly fail the moment batteries die or plastic cracks. WWII designers, on the other hand, assumed failure everywhere, except in the simplest mechanical tools. Now, during the war, scarcity really shaped every decision. Efficiency wasn't just a nice idea, it was absolutely essential. Every resource was precious, so, people had to make do with less and find clever ways to stretch what little they had. World War II was in many ways defined by shortages. Metals were rationed, rubber was scarce, and shipping space was, extremely limited. This forced innovation at every turn. Items had to justify their weight and volume. Nothing unnecessary made the cut. Lifeboat survival kits often included fishing lines woven into rope, buttons that doubled as lures, and first aid items designed to last months in salt water. Scarcity created efficiency. Modern survival gear is often bloated because abundance allows it to be. When applying World War II lessons today, strip your kit down to what you would still trust if resupply was impossible. Test your gear under stress. You know, survival in the harshest conditions is never just about the equipment. It's also about the training and, honestly, the mental grit to keep going. During the war, those who endured the longest were often the ones who had prepared themselves, both physically and mentally, for every possible hardship. So practice your skills and, perhaps most importantly, strengthen your resolve. In the end, your mindset can be just as vital as any tool in your kit. One of the most overlooked aspects of World War II survival kits is that soldiers were trained to use them. Aircrews practiced ditching at sea. Infantry rehearsed escape and evasion. Survival manuals were blunt and practical, not inspirational. The gear was useless without the knowledge to apply it. This is directly applicable today. Owning gear is meaningless without competence. Practice fire-making with minimal tools. Learn navigation without GPS. World War II escape kits often included nothing more than a compass and a map because soldiers were expected to know how to read terrain. If you want World War II level effectiveness, invest more time in skill development than in shopping. Another forgotten element is psychological survival. Many kits included small comfort items, hard candy, cigarettes, religious tokens, or even a tiny book of psalms. Military planners understood that morale kept people alive long enough to be rescued. Survival wasn't just physical, it was mental. So, as we reflect on everything we've discussed, it's clear that the lessons from the past still hold remarkable relevance today. You know, understanding history doesn't just help us make sense of where we've been. It actually guides our decisions for the future. By applying these insights, we can hopefully avoid repeating old mistakes and, well, build a more informed and resilient society. In conclusion, the echoes of history continue to shape our modern world, reminding us that learning from the past is, without a doubt, one of our most valuable tools for progress. Applying this today means, well, acknowledging that stress management is a survival skill. A familiar routine, a simple ritual, or even a comforting item can really stabilize decision-making under pressure. World War II designers understood human limits in ways that, honestly, modern gear marketing often ignores. The most valuable takeaway is not, copying exact items, but copying the mindset. Design for worst-case scenarios, not just best-case assumptions. Assume isolation, injury, and exhaustion. Build redundancy through skills rather than just gear. Choose materials that age well and function after neglect. World War II kits were built to sit unused for years and still work when needed. That standard is, I think, still worth pursuing. World War II survival kits represent a rare moment when survival engineering was stripped of ego and profit. They were built by people who understood that mistakes meant death. That clarity produced systems that still, quite remarkably, outperform many modern equivalents. For historians, this is a reminder that progress is not always linear. For survivalists, it's a call to rethink priorities. If this deep dive added something real to your understanding of survival history, do subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone who values substance over trends, and keep this conversation alive. The past still has lessons left to teach, and honestly, we're not done uncovering them.